Alright guys, welcome back. So I'm going to talk about this project I've been doing for about 3.5 years. It was kind of before I started the channel and stuff, and this has been kind of like a rotisserie build for me, every nut and bolt. So further ado, this is my 86 Buick Grand National. So this entire car I've had for about 4.5 years, and I had it for 6, 7, 8 months before I decided to basically rotisserie restore this thing. So it has been a project and a half, to say the least. So we got, basically this whole car was taken off the frame. Frame was fixed, painted, powder coated, satin black. The body, new floor, new roof. It used to be a T-top car, but we made it a hard top just because T-tops are notorious for leaking in this. The whole back end is new. The trunk, the drop-offs, the trunk floor, the drop-offs. It only needed just a little bit of the quarter panel at the very, very bottom. But I had a shop do this, put on a rotisserie, and it came out really, really nice. And since then, I'm up at my buddy's house, Greg, and he's a painter, so we worked out a deal to kind of get this restored and stuff. He's been helping me, so we'll just kind of go front to back. So the car is a numbers matching 86 Grand National, but of course everything that was taken off and put back on is basically brand new. So all the wiring, I bought original restored wiring harnesses for the car, front to rear. Most of them. There's some that don't. I said, positive battery cable. Everything that I could buy new to put back on that's nice and neat. A lot of the stuff came from Highway Stars. Shout out to them. They're awesome company. They do nothing but these Grand Nationals and stuff. A lot of the other parts. So we'll start with the powerhouse here. The motor, which is the original 3.8 V6. Took it down to my friend Brad, who owns Boost Crew Performance down in Kentucky. And they went through the entire motor, rebuilt the entire thing, completely forged, internally balanced. Everything's new in it. Throttle body, he went through that. It's now, I think, a 62 millimeter. A bunch of other different, goodie parts on it. A lot of the stuff is from Don Cruise Performance, nice guy, awesome products. So the valve covers, they're crinkle black. Cruise Performance on the pulley system. He makes these billet pulleys, are beautiful. Everything else that I could buy new, I did, like the alternator and power steering reservoir, cruise control, all that stuff. The turbo is a Precision 6262 with a 44 millimeter wastegate. And I got a lot of that stuff from the turbo stuff from Brad, but all the headers and the downpipe and the blow-up downpipe, that's from Don Cruise Performance. He makes all this stuff, like a 3.5, you can get a 4. He makes a lot of stuff for racing too. These headers are beautiful stainless steel headers, cross pipe. I don't know if you can see the Cruise Performance on the header down there, but he makes it with all the bone. This locates everything, in the correct position. And then we did the oil filter relocation. That is actually up underneath here. So this is your oil filter, runs a Wix. He has it mounted underneath the headlight here on the passenger side. Everything nice and neat, braided lines, everything's all tucked and ran. So we just did like basically everything new. I mean, the evaporator dryer's new, the condenser's new. Yeah. And then it's the stock fan goes on. I had the radiator rebuilt before I tore it apart. They re-cored the whole thing. Everything looks good. This will be a PT Precision Turbo Engineering PTE stretch stock look mounted intercooler. I have to get that, and then I'll run a pipes, 2.5-inch pipes, dual exhaust thing in the back. And then this other kit that we got for these two relays right here is for the headlights. So they make so you can run the HID brighter headlights. So we went ahead and installed that. Actually did that today. Condensers new, AC condensers new. So we're trying to really restore this thing to, like, you know, really top notch. I mean, everything on this thing. Brad from Boost Crew, these are the coils that mount vertically rather than the stock coil. Injectors, I think they're 120 pound injectors. And then we still have to run, what's left is the fuel line, and it's a whole braided dash, I think dash 6 or dash 8 kit. So we still have to do that. Vacuum booster. This air distribution block is also from Cruise Performance. That runs basically everything you need to run on the car. And then Scott from GNS Performance out west, I got a complete cluster from him. So this is all the gauges. So GNS Performance, beautiful, beautiful gauges. So it has everything, boost gauge and everything. So, you know, we got done running all the wiring and all that stuff from that a little bit ago. So, and I ended up scoring a reconditioned dash pad. I got aftermarket radio, of course, going in it. Speakers, they're kind of like how they do the concert sound in these. So you got 3.5s in the dash, you got 5 1/4s in the doors, 6x9s in the rear, and then I'm gonna have a single 10 with a box built that'll be vent up into the cabin. Steering column's the stock one, but I bought a reconditioned steering wheel. And then we still got to mount, like I said, the gauge cluster, but all the wires are running, everything else. We just kind of finished running most of the wiring today for the other stuff that travels to the back. I still have to hush mat, dynamat the entire floor. It's been jammed out. We're, you know, still in the process of the primer, block it, final primer, and then shoot it. The front end was kind of, we painted that, so it just has to be, you know, wet sanded, kind of reshot and re-cleared with the rest of the car when it comes due, so we could get the hood on and align and everything on the hood. I'm going to go with, so go over the suspension. The suspension is CPP, and they have the upper and lower control arms. You know, it's kind of hard to see, but they have the upper and lower control arms, disc style front brakes, power steering. It's a Borgsa power steering, kind of like a quick ratio one up there. Of course, new AC compressor, red calipers. The rear, I went with GNX aluminum drums with bigger wheel cylinders, and they actually, when they're set up right, they actually really stop, almost kind of like a disc brake. They're really good in the rear. That's a good system. But like I said, everything else on this was basically brand new. I mean, we just got, you know, like the power steering reservoir on today and some other stuff, and some other wiring ran, and, you know, there's a few things to button up, and we wanted to get the header panel hung after we finished all the wiring for the headlights and all that stuff, so we can, you know, put the hood on and get it aligned. The wheels and tires, G-Body makes a really nice, you can get the aluminum in an 18, so I'll have the 18/8s, 18 9.5s in the rear. That's what I'm going to run. They're the refreshed aluminum stock looking ones. Are really, really nice. But as you can see, everything's kind of in primer, and I got new quarter glass windows. I have new door glass, better door glass what I had. It's all nice and neat, not scratch. I think because my other stock one had a scratch. Still got to mount the radiator fan. As far as the back end, you know, it's kind of covered up right now. But everything else, the whole inside of the trunk, the floor, everything was satin black. Of course, this will all be gloss black. I have brand new bumper fillers front and rear. The bumpers will be sanded and painted. We blasted the supports, so they're kind of, you know, just the aluminum color, all the supports. You know, these are just some of the parts for it. Like this is for some of the spoiler. This is around the front windshield. This is on the back, license plate. So, you know, there's just a lot of different things. You know, but we're cooking away on it. But this has kind of been a project. The tranny is the stock 200R4 that I took up to, it's called Janus Transmission, and he's up by Toledo. This guy is phenomenal. He does a lot of the racing Buick Grand National, stuff like that. He's really, really good with these. So mine is a stage 2 billet. So it's got a billet drum in it and stuff, tranny, to match the motor. Now Brad kind of built this motor to resemble the one that he had in his car. And it should be around 510 horse, maybe 715 torque worth. That's kind of the numbers that he's given me. It could be plus or minus. I don't know. You know, we'll see. And once we get it all tuned and timed and everything else, we'll kind of see what it does. And then the stock ECU has been replaced by a blue GN ECU, which is a lot more beneficial. You can tune and time everything to a degree, every cylinder. So I'll take it up to Lorenz Racing. Brian is really, really good with these. He specializes in them. So he's the one probably going to be tuning it. I'm going to leave the interior completely stock. But it's all new. All new. I have all the original interior of the panel, but all the material type by the panels are all brand new. The door pulls, the everything, the switches, all that's brand new. The seat will be all recovered, brand new, front and rear, with the turbo emblem in the headrest and stuff. Everything, I got that from Highway Stars. Like I said, they have like the best products for the Grand Nationals and stuff. We did the seat bracing. I think Curb Performance, that's the X brace for the seat, helps stiffen it up. Trying to think what else in here. I mean, there's just, you know, a little bit, quite a little stuff to tighten up and stuff, but should be ready to rock and roll here, so we can get it finalized painting here in the next couple months. But other than that, this is the 86 Grand National. Yeah, the GPS speedometer. All those gauges are from Speed Hut, which I love them. And you guys seen my 71 Z28 Camaro, and that was all Speed Hut gauges, GPS speedometer and stuff. I love their gauges. The guys are really good. And you having any problems, you call them up. They take care of it. So yeah, so this is the Grand National, guys. This is what I've been working on for the last 3.5 years. You know, GM stuff, you think is, you know, GM, like Chevy, GM, but anytime you touch a Buick, they're like a Mopar. This stuff is 1.5 times more expensive on parts than, you know, regular LS stuff or anything like that. Same with the Mopar. You know, like I said, I just scored my Daytona Charger that you guys saw on the channel, and thing like that stuff too. There's certain things that are okay price. Other things are like, you know, 1.5 times more anytime you touch a Buick or a Mopar. But other than that, dash pad's new, or the cover's new. I just have to have it painted gray. We still got to run the hot wire lead for the gas tank, which is called a hot wire kit, and then that hooks into everything. I have twin Hellcat pumps that are going in the tank and stuff, so we'll get all that. It maintains the factory 8.5 posi rear end. I'll probably end up taking it over to Babbitt Bearing. He specializes in, you know, rear ends, period, and probably have him beef it up a little bit, probably a little bit better axles and stuff. But I'll get it running and stuff first, driving, then I can go over there and he can do it right on the lift. And then I have a real beautiful HR Parts. That guy, he does a lot of billet specialty stuff, so it's got a aluminum billet cover that goes on the rear diff, and it's really, really nice. I'll have that installed. But other than that, guys, this is it, man. This is what I've been working on for 3.5 years. So I'm excited to get it done and get driving it. And I mean, Brad's telling me this thing should run in the 10s, you know, as a street car. So we'll see, but it should be. It should be fast. It should be fun. So other than that, thanks for tuning in. Like, subscribe. I'll talk to you guys on the next video.